Now that understanding the concept behind cycles, I want you to broaden your horizon of thinking and go to creation. Now, if you want to believe in the Big Bang Theory, fine. If you want to believe in creationism, fine. Whatever. Just understand once again that there is a grand design behind everything in existence, and everything is based on cycles. Now then, let's go to this book. I will be using a lot of reference materials. You've already seen my portfolio cover. Now here's a cover of the next reference material. This in itself, believe it or not, is a cycle. And I'm going to demonstrate very quickly of how this is so. We begin with Genesis, the beginning, supposedly. Now understand, I use the King James Version and no other version because this one is specific that I use this so that you understand a little bit more of the consequences of what we're dealing with when we are talking about time. Chronologically speaking, this book was not written in order. Job was the oldest book written, therefore it was the first book. But man devised this to begin with Genesis as the forward material. And then we get towards the ending, what am I at here? We get to the book of the Revelation. Many people like to mispronounce this as Revelations. No, it is the Revelation. Remember that. So what we have within the covers to this book is, believe it or not, cyclic events or stages from cover to cover. The cover itself is the cycle. Okay? Because remember, we have a beginning and an end. Now I'm going to show you something very mysterious. If you happen to take this book and you take the covers, once you open the book and you take the covers and put them together like so, you now have a story that loops. And I'm going to discuss this in previous episodes because of what man did that the Creator evidently was not expecting. And it has to do with time. This is where my illustration comes in. Now I am not tech savvy. Actually, I am low tech. So you're going to see a manual illustration to explain what I am talking about. But the Bible, King James Version Bible, is in fact a cycle. Think about this, understand it. This is kind of crucial, especially if you are a believer in this book. Now, I am using this book as a scientific textbook and not your Sunday school lesson book. So please understand that as well. And the way that I read this book is in today's terminologies and understandings, and not the way that most people behind the pulpit will preach to you and have your mindset 2,000 plus years ago. What I'm going to be presenting to you, you have to have the understanding and mindset of modern times, of today. Otherwise, you will not understand. I will be going into predictions and prophecies and the differences between those two and how to understand the differences between those two. That'll be an upcoming episode. But for right now, remember everything that I've spoken of, and I will be going on to show the illustration of a cycle in movement, in motion, creating a timeline, and then we'll get back to a little bit more explanation. So hang in there. Once again, just for clarification, the definition to cycle, the interval of time during which a sequence of reoccurring succession of events or phenomena is completed. Okay? Now, if you're familiar with this symbol, this is another type of cycle, but this is a recycling. Okay? So if you in fact have a cycle that continues in a loop, it is recycling. It is no longer a cycle, it is recycling, and I will get into the explanation of that as we go further along. This is something else that's very important. So just keep that in mind for future reference.